Our guest this week is Ilene Marker from Drexel University, who will share her experience using Accudemia. Ilene, thank you so much for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I am going to share my screen. Did that work?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm actually going to be doing the beginning of the presentation, and then my co-op student who actually runs the Academic Center for Engineers and uses Accudemia is going to take over. So just quickly, I am Ilene Marker. I am the Director of Student Services for the College of Engineering at Drexel University. I oversee academic advising and a number of special co-curricular programs, but I also oversee our peer tutoring center, which we call ACE. And let me give Eric just a quick chance to introduce himself, and then I'll move into the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric. I'm a second year here at Drexel University, and I have been working with Ilene for about 3 months now as the ACE coordinator. I'm sure you're very confused as to why I'm a student and managing a center, but I'll get into that later on in my section of the presentation.
Great. Thanks, Eric. So I don't know if this was just coincidence or planned, but what we're going to talk about is using Accudemia data, which we just learned a lot about how to pull it and some ways to use it. And specifically, we're going to focus on how to use the data to make decisions. And I'm going to do a little explanation of why decision making has become even more important for us in this past year. Okay. So just some quick highlights. ACE is a peer tutoring center, meaning undergraduates at a higher level are tutoring other engineering undergraduates. Pre-pandemic, we had all face-to-face, and we used to have walk-in hours. Now we only do appointments, no walk-ins. And we now have hybrid. We went from all face-to-face to, while the university campus was closed, all online. And now we have a hybrid, which seems to really be working very well for both our tutors and our students coming for help. I have a new ACE coordinator every 6 months. So I run the center with a cooperative education student, and they do 6-month stints. So every 6 months we have a new coordinator, and the last couple before Eric were data science majors. And so that's when we really started thinking about how to make use of Accudemia data. I don't think you necessarily need a data science major to make this work, and you'll hear from Eric, who is not a data science major, but it did sort of kick us off in this direction of data-driven decision making. And when I took over 4 years ago, we were using 4 different systems for scheduling, tracking, evaluating, and I don't even remember what else. And we've consolidated all of that, or almost all of that, to Accudemia. And what I just learned about the surveys and things, maybe we can consolidate even further. We're definitely not taking advantage of all of the Accudemia bells and whistles, but we're moving in the right direction. So the reason I said it's particularly important to start making data-driven decisions is this has been a crazy year. So we are in the quarter system. So we have fall, winter, spring, summer sessions, and they're all active and almost the same. Our freshmen are with us fall, winter, spring, and our second years are with us either fall, winter, spring, summer. The opposite, they're out on co-op. But we had unprecedented usage this year. And the spring, I should have added the spring bullet, was also off the charts. And I'll show you how off the charts this is. This is the fall of 2018, and this is this fall. So it's 172% increase. Huge. You can see it was going up. It dropped off a little when we were fully virtual. But this is gigantic. And then average sessions per week, also huge increase from fall 2018. Went up, went down a little bit, and now it's off the charts. And so this has really made it necessary for us to reevaluate how many courses and which courses we can support with a limited budget, and how to best staff various courses gearing up for anticipated usage. For years, we did the same courses with pretty much the same number of tutors assigned to them, and it worked very well. But now that's not going to work at all, and so we're having to reevaluate. Why has this usage increased so much? I wish I could tell you definitively. This is what I do know, that the folks who entered in 2020 and had a fully virtual first year just got to campus this fall, the fall of their sophomore year, and they were taking second year, much more difficult courses while getting used to being on campus, while making friends, and basically were freshmen in every sense except they were taking second year courses. ACE supports primarily first and second year courses. We have a couple third year courses, but primarily first and second. And so that had a real impact, I think, on our volume. And then both groups that entered in 2020 and 2021 spent either their first year of college or their junior or senior year in high school, or some combination thereof, in virtual settings. And what we've learned in talking to students, but also looking at placement exams and probation levels and all kinds of other measures, is that students simply did not learn as well in virtual settings. That's not necessarily the fault of the instructor. It could be they had too many distractions at home. They couldn't get their head straight about being students while they were living in their old bedrooms. We don't know. But whatever the cause or causes, they didn't learn the material as well. And so they needed more help. We have, like most universities, unfortunately, unprecedented levels of reported anxiety and depression, and probably even more that's not reported, which really their students' confidence took a real hit. So besides just being anxious and depressed and worried and probably coming in less prepared for their courses than usual, they just didn't have much confidence. And so some people reported at our in our last survey that they came to ACE just to boost their confidence. Some said because they wanted help trying to pass a class they wouldn't otherwise have passed. Some wanted to earn a higher grade than they thought they would earn on their own. But quite a number of them just wanted some confidence. And while at home, their study habits and their time management, if they had any skills before and at the beginning of college, they devolved even further. So all of these, we think, contributed to why the numbers spiked. But also, in the last 2 years, we have been making a very concerted effort to normalize asking for help. I'm sure this is true with lots of students, but my group, engineering students, tend to be those who did very well in high school, maybe without all that much effort. And when they get to college and suddenly don't get easy A's, they're really shaken. Their identity as being an excellent student is really rocked, and they're not used to asking for help, and they're embarrassed to go from being a star student to someone who needs tutoring. And so we've really tried to normalize this and let them know everybody struggles when they get to the beginning of college in engineering, and make it less of um, a stigma to need tutoring. So, with all these changes, the spiked usage, the reasons behind it, which may or may not be permanent. So, entering 2020 has now placed out of most ACE courses. Entering 2021 has one more year, but also normalizing it. We're not sure why, but we know we have to restaff and possibly rethink which courses we can support, because I do have a limited budget. So I'm going to turn it over to Eric, who's going to give you a lot more specifics. And I hope you got a good sort of big picture view and background. But now I'm going to be quiet.
All right. Thank you, Eileen. Hello, everyone. My name's Eric again. I am the ACE coordinator, and I've been working this job for 3 months now. As you heard from Eileen earlier, I am a co-op student, and what that means is for the spring and summer term, I am working this full-time job while still maintaining my full-time enrollment at Drexel. And this program is special in that some students can take 3 co-ops and in their second year, third year, and fourth year here at Drexel. And ACE is a special um, position in that it is a beginner position. So typically, a second year will take this position because ACE doesn't really look for a lot of experience in their resumes. Usually, they're just looking for a person that is driven to manage and really build up their resume so that they can take um, higher level co-ops at like bigger companies later on in their academic career. Um, so that is why Accudemia being so user friendly and easy to use is so important for this position. I remember 3 months ago when I took this position and I was told that I would have to learn a brand new software. Um, I was really scared and worried that I wouldn't be able to handle it. But luckily, Accudemia is a very good software. I would just like to express my gratitude to the team over at Accudemia for creating such a great product and making my job a lot easier than it could have been. Um, so here at ACE, we use Accudemia to make our appointments. And as Eileen mentioned earlier, we just recently started doing data collection. And you'll see from the way that we collect our data, it's a little different from how Jorge mentioned earlier about like reports. I'm sure that we can really use that report system on top of what we're already doing to enhance our data collection. But this is how we do it right now. Oh yeah. Also, if you notice any black bars during this presentation, it's just to cover up names for privacy sake. So please bear with me with that. If you see the arrow pointing to the left right there, this is the appointments tab, by the way. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. But by default, this period will display today's appointments as well as any appointments that are going to happen in the future. Um, but if you click on it, you can actually set the date to whatever time. And so what I have set it to is actually March 28th to June 3rd, which is our spring term. So this will bring up all the appointments from our spring term. And then what we can do from then on is press the little button that you see at the bottom right there. And that'll actually download the raw CSV file, similar to what you saw earlier in the tech portion of the presentation. Yeah, you'll see something like this. And as you can see, it's a little messy. All this information is very important, but obviously some of it you might not need given what you're trying to look for. So what we do is what you'll see on the next slide is we condense it. So you can see on the left right there, we only really take what we really need for whatever we're looking for. Typically that's the course and like whether or not the sessions were in person or remote. Um, but however, this might be changed in the future, as we've just learned that reporting is actually very similar to what we're doing right now. So maybe that system might be better, or we can use that to enhance what we already have. But using this like condensed table, we can really make a lot of different things like charts that you see on the right hand side and tables on the right hand side as well. And these are what we really use to make our decisions nowadays. Um, if you look at like the in-person versus remote graph, we can see that like majority of our appointments are remote, and so therefore we can deduce that perhaps we don't necessarily need as many tutors as we needed in the past because we don't have to staff a full center and make sure that it's always that tutors are always available during the times that the center is open. We can allow our tutors to make appointments whenever they're available and whenever students are available to make appointments. And then on the right hand side, we can see obviously the count of the sessions per course. And maybe we don't necessarily need to staff the courses that have 1 to 2 um, appointments in a given term. But obviously, we need plenty of tutors for the sessions that have 86. You know, so yeah, that's just like a brief overview of how we use academia data to make our decision nowadays. But we are looking to increase our efforts to get like good data and make more informed decisions here at ACE. That is why even seeing like the report section, it was very helpful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to pass down the torch to my successor and hopefully make ACE a better center overall with academia. Yeah, I believe that was all.
That-
Awesome.
Good job, Eric. Really good
Yeah.
job.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Great job. It can't be easy to do that, to do all that work as a student. And you said you're a second year undergrad?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. And that's definitely a unique challenge as well to accomplish all that and take over a position like that for just 6 months,
Mhm.
right? That's
Yeah,
that's how long you guys have them for. Um, yeah, and I from working in higher ed, I can tell you, and I'm sure Eileen would agree, 6 months goes by fast. So great job and good luck to you in the rest of your tenure there.
yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any questions? I know Jorge thought that what you showed was really impressive. We're really happy that you've been able to catch on to academia so quickly. It's going to be, it's going to be extra important with a timeline like that. Does anybody have any questions for Eric or Eileen?
Actually, I do want to support the idea. By the way, great job. I mean, that is awesome. Not only you are using our tools really nicely, but I have to tell you, if you use the traffic analysis report, and there's quite a few, I'm just
Mhm.
scratching the surface with what I showed you. You can not only see how many people are coming for what, but when exactly they're coming. The specific days and times of the days, and which tutors they are selecting specifically, the ones that are having more sessions. So it's going to allow you said that you are condensing. Well, that's going to give you can squeeze it even more, to give you exactly the whys and the hows, to make, because basically, having your manpower used to the most, to the best, and then giving the assistance that your students need is the bottom line, the main factor here. So just take a look at the traffic analysis report, and you're going to be able to see how much power you can have, from academia. Good
Yeah, for
job.
sure. I was definitely amazed when I saw your presentation. I had no idea that academia had that ability.
And now, actually, you know what? You were using the appointments export, which, by the way, you were getting to the same spot using another way to
Yeah.
do it. But you can also have the session log reports, which are going to give you even more details than the ones that you're using. So if you go to the session log reports and you combine that with what you're using right now, it's going to be a headache because you're going to have a lot of information in your hands but the more information you have is going to be more valuable. The output you can come out of those. So good job. I'm really happy about that.
And I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Thank you all for another great session. Again, for the summer, we have moved into a monthly schedule. So we will plan on the next one being Tuesday, August 9th. So we will see you again at that point, and we'll of course make an announcement closer regarding the topics for that day. Have a great rest of your week, everybody, and we hope to see you next time. And thank you, Eileen and Eric. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bye.
no problem. Thank you.
Bye.